What's up, fight fanarinos? My name's Flying Brian J, and the point of this video is to talk about my top 3 most look forward to fights happening this coming Saturday at UFC 222 live and on UFC pay-per-view. It pains me a little bit to say that I'm not having an honorable mention, and I'm going to give you a spoiler alert. The main event is not in my top 3, and that kind of sucks. Even though Cyborg Justino is really exciting to watch, she usually finishes people. I just can't get down with her facing yet another 135-pounder and a girl or a woman who has not yet been in the UFC. I think it's a squash match, and it's definitely not in my top 3 most look forward to fights for this weekend. But number 3 is Cat Zingano versus Ketlen Vieira. Flow Sports or Flow Combat did a poll where they asked how many of the victories that Ronda Rousey had during her historic run would she win the rematch against, and a lot of people, most that I saw, said that Cat Zingano would defeat Ronda Rousey if they were to run it back. Cat Zingano hasn't fought in over 18 months, but when she was at her peak, she was one of the top women's bantamweights in the world the entire time. She is on a 2-fight losing streak, but perhaps that time off treated her really well, and she'll come back here and prove that she is still one of the top contenders. And if she gets past Ketlen Vieira, she could be in line for a bantamweight title shot, because Amanda Nunes kind of needs contenders. But on the other side of the coin, Ketlen Vieira is a lady or a woman that has a black belt in judo, a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. She is undefeated in her mixed martial arts career, and she is coming off of a huge arm triangle choke victory over Olympic silver medalist wrestler Sarah McMahon. The winner of this fight is likely going to move one step closer to a title fight. Ketlen Vieira, she is 9 years younger than Cat Zingano. I think that she's going to get the victory. She is the favorite here, and if she does win, we're going to definitely have ourselves a new contender at 135 pounds in the women's division. Number 2 is a fight that we've already talked about. John the Magician Dodson versus Pedro the Young Punisher Munoz. John Dodson is a guy who challenged Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson for the flyweight title on 2 separate occasions, and he even knocked Mighty Mouse down. He was widely regarded as the hardest puncher at 125 pounds. And when he made his move to the bantamweight division, he fought Manville the Anvil Gamburian, and he showed that he brought that power with him from 135 pounds, and he might even have a speed advantage against a lot of the guys in this division. He hits hard as heck. He's a perennial top challenger, and he's really fun to watch. He's dynamic, he's bouncy, he's jovial, he's a fun guy. And then opposite of him is Pedro the Young Punisher, who's actually not that young. He might be young in mixed martial arts miles. He's 31 years old, but this guy has only lost to Rafael Assunção and Jimmy El Terra Rivera, and the Young Punisher is on a 4-fight winning streak. 3 of those coming via guillotine choke, so they're finishes. This guy's dynamic. He hits pretty hard. He's got good defense. He's obviously got fantastic guillotine chokes if 3 out of his last 4 are via that way. John Dodson has been at the top of the flyweight division. He's moving his way toward the top of the bantamweight division, and I don't want to call him a gatekeeper, but if Pedro Munoz could get past the Magician here, he could be a possible future challenger and the kind of clogged at the top, bottlenecked bantamweight division. And number 1 is the co-main event of the evening. I'm super sad that this fight isn't 25 minutes and a 5-rounder. I'm not really for interim titles, but wouldn't it have been great if we could have seen Frankie the Answer Edgar versus Brian T-City Ortega duke it out for up to 5 rounds, up to 25 minutes? That would have been absolutely phenomenal. This is the most meaningful fight on the card. I think that it's more meaningful than the main event, which the main event's for the women's featherweight championship, even though that division doesn't really exist. This fight is for a chance to fight Max Blessed Holloway for the men's featherweight championship of the world. Of course, Max pulled out, which put Brian T-City in this spot. Conor McGregor supposedly said he offered his services to face Edgar in the main event here and save UFC 222. Didn't happen though. Brian Ortega is a guy that he's like the featherweight Yoel Romero, which I'm saying he could be losing a fight for 14 minutes and then pull off a victory in the 3rd. This guy's got a lot of 3rd-round finishes. A lot of them are via submission. If he gets his hands on his opponent at all, he could probably finish the fight. Like when he fought Cub Swanson, he lost the 1st round, he came out in the 2nd round and decided he was going to go for a choke even though it was a standing guillotine, and he locked it up and he won that fight. He's always looking for the finish. He's actually pretty damn dynamic on his feet as well, and you gotta watch this guy. You gotta keep an eye out for T-City. Opposite of him, Frankie the Answer Edgar is a guy that's been at the top of whatever division he's wanted to compete at. He's the former UFC lightweight champion. He's only lost to Jose Aldo in the UFC featherweight division, and he's always near the top there. We think of this guy as a boxer and a wrestler, and for a while there, for some reason, we didn't think that he had too much punching power, but then he came out and he fought Chad Money Mendez, who Money is a guy that's known for a lot of punching power, but the Answer put Money down. So Edgar knocked out Chad Mendez. And of course, Frankie Edgar is coming off of an absolute beatdown of a young prospect in Yair El Pantera Rodriguez. So if he's done that to one young prospect, perhaps he could do it to the undefeated Brian T-City Ortega. And the winner, of course, you know, they're going to fight Max Blessed Holloway, and whoever comes out the victor is going to give Max Holloway a run for his money, in my estimation. This is my prediction for fight of the night, or the winner's probably going to get a bonus, and this is without a doubt the most looked forward to fight on the card for, I think, every single fight fan. I do not think I'm alone in this. So my list is number 3, Zingano versus Vieira. Number 2 is Dodson versus Munoz, and of course, number 1, the co-main event of the evening, Frankie the Answer Edgar versus Brian T-City Ortega. Do you agree with my list? Tell me about it in the comment section down below. Please give the video a cheeky little thumbs up. I'll see you guys in my next video. And oh, by the way, I'll be here live here on the MMA Mania YouTube channel doing a pre-fight and a post-fight for this event. So subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys then, and perhaps I will be here to do a live chat during the main card portion. So if you don't want to buy this thing, you can come hang out with me and I'll keep you informed of all of the action. But once again, thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Namaste. Oh man, I can't wait to watch Frankie Edgar versus Brian Ortega. I'm gonna ride or die with Brian Ortega. I just like that he's like a Yoel Romero type of character. He could get a finish at a moment's notice. Even if he lost the 14 minutes before that, he snags up a guillotine choke and he could get this damn thing won. Also, he's got some pretty solid striking. He knocked out Clay the Carpenter Guida. That was pretty damn impressive. Cannot wait for that fight. See you guys later.